Hey guys, Matt Faircloth here from the DeRosa Group, and I'm walking this 30-unit apartment building that we just built here in Trenton, New Jersey. Here's the thing. Projects can live at 95% done for a really, really long time, and there's a certain strategy for getting a construction project 100% done. I sometimes joke that the first 5% and the last 5% are the absolute hardest in construction. So what you gotta do when you're 95% done, for anything big or small, is walk through your job with some blue tape. We're gonna be blue taping this property, and I'm gonna show you guys how to blue tape your properties when they're almost done, so you can get them 100% done, get them leased, and start making some money. Let's go. Hey guys, real quick, if you guys are looking to buy apartment buildings, or if you already do own apartment buildings, you want to buy more, what you guys want to do is go grab a copy of our free course, about how to buy your first apartment building deal. And you can use the technology in that course to buy your second, third, fifth, or 20th apartment building too. Guess what? It's free. You can grab it by going to DeRosaGroup.com/tools. Click the link in the description below to go grab a copy of our course called How to Buy Your First Apartment Building Deal. Now back to the video. All right, guys, so here we are in one of the apartments that I'm gonna take you guys through some of the things that I've already blue taped, and I'll tell you what to look for when you're blue taping your apartments. First thing, you wanna spend some time inside the units, but you also wanna go do the exteriors. In this building, the exteriors are not done yet. You might've seen the sidewalks not finished, the landscaping areas outside are not finished. It's important to do your blue tape walk when your contractor's telling you that he's done, because I've made this mistake before. What can happen is you can say, hey man, you haven't done the sidewalks yet. And the contractor's like, oh yeah, he'll be back next week or whatever. You want to do your blue tape walk when the contractor's telling you they're 100% finished, because they will blame anything you come up with in the blue tape walk. If they're not telling you they're done, if they're telling you there's more work to do, what they will do is they will blame the work that you call out that's not finished yet as, oh yeah, we're gonna do that tomorrow. We'll do that the day after. Wait till they tell you that they're done. Wait till they're looking for that final payment, then you do your blue tape, okay? So that's the lesson number one. Now, let's go look at things to look for, right? Number one, 100% all day long is paint smudges. If your tenants are gonna be moving in, they will certainly smudge the paint for you, but you want to have the property as pristine as condition as it can be. When you move your first resident in, first resident might call it out, like, oh, you already got paint smudges, this place doesn't even look new, you know? And also, your contractor owes you a finished product. So I'll show you what to look for with paint smudges and also some other things that are very common in construction walkthroughs and what to blue tape. So you can see, I've already blue taped some of this. Hope you guys can see, but see that right there? That's just a paint smudge, right? That's probably a little bit of grout from that tile, okay? But that's a little something, okay? All these little nicks, and you guys can see it in the camera, but these little nicks in the wall, just a little something. Little stuff, and a lot of times contractors don't catch these things because they're running through here at 90 miles an hour trying to get done. But look, see the floor trim didn't touch up paint, okay? These are just little things that happen. And if you walk through this unit initially, you're like, oh yeah, it's fine. But then you start to see little nuances. Also, here's a major one. You know, you gotta give people grace and forgive and all that kind of stuff, but I see what happened. See that door right there? That's the door going to the bedroom closet. Somebody's short installed that door, short like me. But I stepped back all the way over here. You might not be able to see it from here, so I'll just take you guys up. See that? Oh no. The box that they cut for that sheetrock, for that door to go in, was too big. And the door doesn't go all the way to the top. Little spackle job, but it looks like you know what right there, okay? Now, maybe what happened, like I said, forgive people, somebody short like me might have installed that, didn't see it. Maybe they did, who knows? All they had to do is take a few steps back. Also, there's window blinds missing from that window. These units are supposed to have window blinds and they're not installed. So what you also want to do, you might not even notice that. Oh, hey, look at that, a pretty window. That's a beautiful window right there. And you might not realize, hey, wait a minute, that window's supposed to have blinds in it. So bottom line, guys, it's not also about damage you see in the apartment when you're doing a blue tape walkthrough. It's also about things that are supposed to be there that are not. So make sure you have both of those things there. So it's important to carry around perhaps the scope of work or the construction bid you got from your contractor to make sure they did all the things that they said they were going to, okay? Let's keep going. Here's something else, guys. Make sure water turns on, make sure utility turns on. Oh, hey, look, I got a fancy pants water fixture that does this and this. Make sure they do that and that. Make sure they don't drip after you turn them on. Here is something I want to show you guys. So that sink works, no blue tape for you, you're okay. Here's something that's not okay. See this? This is a hood vent over a stove, okay? See that blue tape? You know why? Fan turns on. Very good, okay, we've been outside. Guess what? No light. Because those knuckleheads forgot to put a light bulb in there, okay? We found that to be common through all the units, that there was no light bulb in all the vent fans. How dare they? So that's one of those things. So when you're doing your walkthroughs, test all the utilities. The next thing you guys want to do is check underneath to see that everything's connected. What's missing here? What's that? That is the plug for the dishwasher, not even plugged in, okay? Blue tape, that gets written up. But then make sure all your plumbing lines are talking to each other. When you go and run the water here, check down here. Make sure that water's not politely spilling itself out underneath your vanity, okay? Or your kitchen cabinets. So that is a quick utility check that you can do. We have HVAC here. Now, in this property, it's a little bit of a bigger job. So we had an electrician and an HVAC company do all this kind of work. And we had an architect design all this stuff. So the architect actually came in and with their test equipment, tested all this equipment. If you don't have that, if you've got a single family home or a smaller reno that you're doing, you are gonna need to come in and fire this stuff up, turn it on. If you wanna be super granular, turn on the heat and the air conditioning. Even if it's cold and hot outside, see if you can fire them both up to see what they do. Here's this, make sure your panels are labeled. See this? This is good for a tenant to know if they trip a breaker, what to turn back on, but it's also good for you to know. And it's also in some areas, that's just code that you have to have that. So make sure that your electrical panel is labeled when you do your punch list. We walked through a few units already that didn't have that panel labeled. Gotta watch out. All right, guys, I'm gonna show you an example of something that you wanna do during your blue tape walkthroughs. And this is almost like a wish list or, hey, I think this isn't right, but I might be wrong. I'm willing to be wrong on this one, but I think this doesn't look good. So I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. The contractor might say, well, Matt, that's in the laundry closet here. And so it's out of sight, it doesn't matter, it's not building code, what you're asking me to do. But I'll show you what we're talking about, okay? See that box? The box around the drain for where the washer dryer goes into the wall is unfinished. See, it's a little unsightly. They could probably trim this out. I'm not 100% sure how they would do it. I just think it's a little unsightly, right? You can call out stuff when you do your blue tape walkthrough that are maybe a wish list or maybe a little unsightly. Yeah, you don't like the way that looks. And your contractor might say, well, it is what it is. And I will accept it is what it is as a response on that one, okay? But to me, it's a little unsightly. So if it's unsightly, I'm gonna call it out. We're gonna talk about it. Here's one last thing that I want you guys to look for when you're doing your construction walkthroughs. And you might not even catch this, but I guarantee your tenants will gladly damage your walls if there is not a doorstop for all your doors. A doorstop is a thing that goes right about there where the door goes into the wall. What's gonna happen? The tenant's gonna open that up really aggressively, go shabam, and it's gonna go shabam into your wall, okay? It hasn't done it yet. Actually, look, I've actually already marked it because you can see it kind of did ding the wall a little bit. So if I didn't know better, I would have said, oh yeah, it's a little ding in the wall. And the contractor would have just come and spackled and painted that and called it good. The reason why that mark is there is because this door doesn't have, because this door doesn't have a doorstop to stop the door from hitting the wall when it goes. It is very common for contractors not to install door stops, but you want those because a tenant's going to live in your unit and they're gonna open the door, and close the door, close the door, and it's gonna eventually make a nice little mark in your wall. I've had doors that had no door stop and had a lovely doorknob-sized hole in the wall when the tenant moved out because I was short-sighted and did not install a door stop on the door where it goes in. So don't be like me. All right, guys, so those are my lessons, but I'm gonna go you guys one further. I'm gonna bring in the cavalry. I'm gonna bring in a property manager. The person that's running this property for us is going to come in and do this blue tape walk to make sure I didn't miss anything and teach me what they look for when they walk apartments. So let's meet with a property manager as well, because I wanna walk it as the owner, but also want my property manager to walk it too, because they gotta run it and they see more apartments day to day than I do. So if you can, get your property manager to do blue tape walk as well. Let's meet him right now. Guys, this is Gil Wildridge with Trenton renowned POTT Real Estate, P-O-T-T Real Estate, that's managing this property and many others in Trenton, New Jersey. So if you guys have got a property in Trenton, New Jersey and you need a property manager, this is who we use at DeRosa. POTT Real Estate, P-O-T-T. Now, Gil, When you're walking apartments, doing a final walkthrough for construction, such as this property, I just walked this one. I did all my blue tape. You've walked a few too. What are some things as a property manager that you look for that maybe an owner wouldn't? Because I've already done this, but you're probably going to go behind me and do this one again. What do you look for that you think a property manager has the eyes to catch?
The first thing I do is I put myself in the mentality of how I was when I bought my first home. Right. And I am as nitpicky and perfectionist as I can possibly be. With a building like this with similar layouts, I like to do a sweep that's standardized in every unit, starting at the top and going down, because it's easy to miss things if you don't look up. We look for everything from whether or not the appliances are hooked up, whether or not the hot water is connected, to touch-up issues with paint, to whether or not the backsplash is properly installed behind outlets, to whether or not locks are installed the right way, to whether or not windows all open properly at the same time. I separate my lists for important major CO issue items and more minor but still important tenant satisfaction items. The more things you can take care of while the construction company is still working on a building, the less you have to pay for, and the sooner you can start making money once that building opens.
It's interesting, Gil. I didn't think to do this, but I bet you did. I didn't check to see the water temp coming out of the faucets. It's important to note that, guys, because in certain jurisdictions, including here in Trenton, New Jersey, there are anti-scald rules, meaning like your water cannot be coming out of your spigot at 212 degrees Fahrenheit boiling, right? You would burn people. You would burn, little babies and burn kids and burn adults like me that are knuckleheads and don't think to test the water before they put their hand in there when I'm at my house, right? So I know that there are temperature rules on water coming out of spigots. So you probably tested the water temp coming out of spigots. So make sure you guys do that. That's a good property management rule. But if a tenant ends up getting burned, shame on you as the landlord. But what will likely happen is the town's going to come through. In Trenton, they come through here with a thermometer and they check your actual temperature. Oh, wait, you're supposed to be 160. Oh, that's the right number. But they might say you're supposed to be 160 no more. You're at 165. You have to adjust this. I'll be back 3 weeks from next Tuesday to check it again. And then you can't lease the unit for another month, right? Great feedback, Gil. What's the best way to deliver this feedback to the contractor? And then what do you do once you've given this feedback to the construction team that's done the work for you?
I put every single possible thing on a list. I leave absolutely nothing out, and I don't leave any spaces. And I put everything in the densest possible block that I can. I will then email it to everyone. I will then go over it and make sure that when they walk the unit, they at least walk it in the same manner that I do, so they can see everything. Hopefully there's something that maybe I've missed that they catch doing it that way. But the goal is to put them in the same headspace that I am, make sure that they see what I'm seeing, because that headspace ideally is the tenant's headspace when they first walk the unit.
Love it. So put your head into a tenant space when they walk a unit. As I love that, that's the first thing that Gil said. Act like a tenant, act like a resident, because that's what somebody else is going to do, and it's going to make Gil's life easier in leasing up their property that much faster. Thank you for joining us today, Gil, on YouTube. Check out Gil Wildridge at POTT Real Estate here in Trenton, New Jersey, if you guys own assets here and want them to come manage them for you. Appreciate you, buddy. All right, guys, final thoughts for Blue Tape construction walkthrough so you can get your job for 95% to 100%. Here's the final thoughts. Once you've delivered that feedback to your contractor in whatever way that you're going to do, and we've done a written list with photos, all those things are delivered, the contractor's going to eventually address those things. Maybe they take a few exceptions, and they're going to come back to you, and they're going to get the work done. Then what you guys want to do is you want to walk it again to make sure they did the work. Make sure they addressed everywhere you had blue tape. Pull up your notes, double check. Then you can send their contractor their final payment and go ahead and rent that apartment and get back to doing what you guys do, which is making lots of cash flow and building your wealth through rental real estate. Thank you for watching, guys, here on this YouTube channel. If you guys like what we talk about here on this YouTube channel, make sure you hit that subscribe to this YouTube channel and make sure you like this video. Make sure you maybe forward this video over to a contractor friend of yours that is about to get a blue tape walkthrough on a property that they're working on too, because let's spread the wealth, spread the knowledge from this channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you soon.